on radio, on YouTube, and on your smartphone. This is TTUTA Speaks. We invite all listeners to tune into I-95.5 every Thursday morning at approximately 7:25 for TTUTA Speaks, a program which highlights local, regional, and international issues affecting the education sector. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to TTUTA Speaks. I'm your presenter, Barry Joel Desaine. Last week, we started a series on the Concordat, an important historical agreement between the state and the Roman Catholic Church that is often the subject of heated discussions. Knowing that one cannot solve a problem without first examining its antecedent cause, we began by questioning the circumstances that led to the need for the Concordat, starting with how religion dominated early education in Trinidad. If you missed the last segment, you can listen to it on TTUTA's YouTube channel. In today's segment, we continue our quest to understand the circumstances that led to the need for the Concordat, as we look at the British Colonial Government's first major attempt to establish a state-controlled school system and the resulting conflict that arose. The most significant contribution to the early development of education reportedly occurred under the 8-year governorship of Lord George Harris. On arriving in 1846, he found that Trinidad was not the typical colony. It was a melting pot of ethnicities, cultures, languages, and religions. Emancipated slaves who spoke either French or Spanish, freed slaves from North America, as well as free colored from neighboring islands who were predominantly English-speaking Protestants, Portuguese-speaking migrants from Madeira, Chinese workers who spoke Mandarin, and Hindi-speaking East Indian indentured laborers, many of whom were Hindus and some Muslims, all coexisted in this dynamic and evolving society. Noting this diversity, Harris famously declared, "A race has been freed, but a society has not been formed." Lord Harris believed that education was the key to creating a more unified and structured society. While over 40 primary schools, mostly run by missionaries, existed, Harris felt that relying on religious groups for education was inadequate. To address this, he organized the island into the counties and wards that still exist today and introduced a state-funded school in each ward that was managed by a government-appointed warden. He also established a board of education, an inspector of schools, teacher training model schools, and even the island's first public library. By 1859, state-funded secondary education had begun with the opening of Queen's Collegiate, known today as Queen's Royal College. One of the governor's boldest moves was his stance on religious education. Concerned about students receiving faith-based teachings contrary to their beliefs, he forbade the teaching of religion in ward schools, but also made provisions for students to attend their respective churches on Wednesdays for religious instructions. This system was initially praised by religious leaders, but the harmony did not last as the Roman Catholic Church gradually turned against it. Using church funds, they opened schools under their own exclusive management, making religion an indispensable feature of the instructions. And by 1863, they established St. Mary's College, further strengthening their independent education network. This resistance from the island's largest religious group seriously undermined the vision of a unified education system and set the stage for the dual system of public education which followed. The Keenan Report of 1869 gives more insight on this conflict. It records that the church discouraged Catholic parents from enrolling their children into ward schools by propagating that these schools were essentially godless and that they placed Catholic youths in mortal danger for their souls. Perhaps this is the antecedent cause for long-standing historical arguments that denominational schools are superior to government schools. Food for thought. In our next segment, we will explore how the dual system of public education evolved in the 20th century and why the state initiated talks with the Roman Catholic Church that ultimately led to the Concordat. You have been listening to TTUTA Speaks. To contact us, please dial 610-3850. That's 610-3850. Or you may email our president at president@tuta.org. That's president TTUTA@ttuta.org. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where recordings of interviews, events, and other materials are uploaded regularly. Like us by giving a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and subscribe.